doesn't count anyway. So she.
Well, Bob, you have to realize you're not the coach.
I know. I don't know why. I mean, I can't believe they moved that. I can't believe the Europe game even goes in. Welcome back to Restaurant Review. I'm your host, Bob Bockelman, and it's summertime USA here in New Orleans, and we're glad you're back. Today we have a wonderful new performer for you. You may recognize her. A few months back, she was on our Artist Review program, for those who catch that at the end of the month. And she was one of our few and rare photographers. So we hope you saw her work there, but if not, you can enjoy, because she's also her own songwriter and vocalist. And she's juggling two careers, which is really good. So we want to go ahead and introduce to you Miss Nattie, as she goes by. Nattie, welcome to the show.
Hello. Hi.
Good. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Are you from New Orleans?
I'm from the North Shore. From New Orleans originally. Grew up on the North Shore.
Grew up on the North Shore.
Been living here about 12 years.
12 years. Well, that's pretty good. And how long have you been into music? I know you've been in photography for a while. So
quite a while. Music almost the same. I started writing songs about 7 or 8 years ago. Started performing in New Orleans about 3 years ago.
Wow. And what motive, like especially having a dual career, maybe I asked you this when you were on photography, how did you choose to have to go from one to the other, whether it was songwriting first to I want to take pictures. No, I mean, even though you're doing them simultaneously, how did that inspiration come to take the other career path?
I think it was a natural progression with the photography and the music. It's a similar setup for me. I photograph things that inspire me for some reason. Songs, it's the same thing. Mostly I write songs that crack me up. That's my biggest talent. I was going to ask just making my own self laugh, and that's how I started to write songs.
I was going to ask you, where do you draw inspiration for your songs? But comedy, obviously.
Everyday situations or different perspectives. Perspective plays a big part in the songs I write.
Well, everybody knows one person's tragedy is another's comedy, so that's just depending on perspective. Mm-hmm. Okay, now let's see. I know you said you had a website because you had one for your photography. So why don't you go ahead and tell the folks about that for the songwriting?
It's the same website. It's www.nattie-concepts.com. You can link to my MySpace page also, where I have some songs on there.
Nattie-concepts.com.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And also appearances for people who want to see you. I know you do good work at the Nutrigram. When's your next show there?
July 17th at 8 o'clock.
And is that the night by week?
It's a Thursday night.
Thursday night, July 17th at 8 o'clock.
8. Yeah, I usually play the third Thursday of every month.
Great. There you go, folks, in case you missed that one. And lastly, you said you got something exciting. You're working on a one-man show?
A one-woman show.
One woman, excuse me.
Yeah. I'm combining photographs and music and to put together a show. Hopefully in the fall I'll produce it.
Well, please keep us abreast of it. We'll certainly give it out to the audience, and also I'm sure you'll put it on your website.
Oh,
right?
definitely.
Okay, well, why don't we take a back seat and let's hear what you have to do.
All right.
Tell us. Thank you.
Okay. All right. First song that I'm going to sing is based on some festival experiences. This is a song about a woman I met at Jazz Fest a few years back. Well, I was standing in the beer line buying a drink when a sharp-looking woman asked me, "What do you think? Could I borrow your phone? I need to make a call. I really need to speak with my son, Paul." Well, since we're outside the gospel tent, you know, I thought she was worthy of being hell-bent. She was looking her best, protecting her own. Well, I could tell that she really needed to phone home. So being the kind southern woman I am, well, I obliged a sweet lady. I said, no problem, ma'am. I asked for the number and I dialed it when she grabbed hold of the phone. Boy, she changed her tone. Well, as she spoke, I swigged my beer, but I nearly spit it out after what I was here. The words flying out of that mama's mouth, they could surely be heard all over the South. She cussed him out, every name in the book. She didn't care that folks, they were starting to look. Now that's a true Southern lady, refined with manners in the gutter. She's dressed to the nines, and after all of that, she gave the phone to me. She said thanks as I stared incredulously. Having said her piece, she bid goodbye, and then she walked off with her head held high. Now that's a true Southern lady, refined with manners in the gutter. She's dressed to the nines. That's a true Southern lady, refined with manners in the gutter. She's dressed to the nines.
Well, hello again. That was Nattie. As we said, I apologize. I thought we were bringing you some new songs from her, and hopefully maybe we will for the other two. That interview is the same interview we did, but we had recorded 4 sets of her music. Anyway, hopefully you'll get 2 more songs. Hopefully it won't be the same ones that we've seen before. However, we do have someone new in the audience, on the set, representing a brand new restaurant. It's a restaurant in New Orleans, and it's called Ms. Z's Cafe. Now, Ms. Z we have here in studio. Her name is ZONDRA Batiste. ZONDRA, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Great, we appreciate it. She's opened this new restaurant on, I believe it's 1027 TOURO. And for those who don't know where that is, I know I had to find it, even though I happened upon it, and that is a couple of blocks before Elysian Fields when you come down St. Claude. And it's in the first block off of St. Claude. She's got a wonderful old-time bulletin, I forgot what they call it, sandwich boards out on the neutral ground pointing down to her restaurant, so hopefully you'll catch that and give her a try. Let's talk a little bit about, first of all, your background. How did you decide to go into the restaurant business?
Well, good evening. I decided to go into the business. My son and I decided to go into restaurant business due to post-Katrina. We had to run over to several different places in Metairie to get food because there was no restaurants open here in New Orleans. And in the neighborhood where I'm at, we haven't had a nice restaurant since about 15, 20 years.
Oh, my goodness. Now, you've been open, how long have you been open now? A few months, you said, what?
We have been open approximately 4 months. We've been open since April.
Great. Now, for those who don't know, the building you're in, and we've got some pictures. I didn't take a picture outside of the building. I should have. I took a picture of the sun. But tell us about, for those, I'm sure they'll recognize it right away. When you told me the name of the building, I knew what it had been and just didn't put 2 and 2 together. Tell us, what did this building house for many years? Many
years, it was a Adams Social Club, but at one time, it used to be called the Po' Boy. That's when the trolley was going down St. Claude, and the drivers used to come in and ask for a po' boy sandwich. That's where the po' boy originated from.
Yeah. And the wrought iron on the doorways, on the double doors, has the ASC for the social club's name. So really a great place, a great old building. Like I said, very, very convenient. And I know you said there was even some more history with regard to the building. Was it the building across the street?
Yes, they have a building across the street they used to call Martin's Restaurant, and they closed when I was a young teenager.
Right. So, folks, those who know St. Claude know that there have been restaurants in that area for years. Unfortunately, not all of them are present because of either time or Katrina. So it's good to have. And what ZONDRA is trying to do here is actually fulfill a real good need, as she mentioned, because she's open straight through for breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Is that correct? Let's talk about that.
Yes, we're open from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Sunday through Thursdays, and on Fridays and Saturday we're open from 7 a.m. to 12 p.m.
to midnight. So that's great, folks. As you know, earlier from Katrina, very few people were staying open later than 8 or 9 o'clock. but she's put a whole dedication with the family to being there for you, and she's there late at night. So that's great, because we're trying to get back to some normalcy where we can go somewhere and then go have a meal after, instead of trying to run and have a meal and do something after, or not do anything at all in the evening. So we've got some great things. Now, you said the restaurant seats about how many?
It seats approximately 40 to 50 people. We can put an extra, maybe four people in there.
Well, that's a great size. And one other thing, for those who worry about coming down to the Court or the Marigny area, besides on-street parking, she does have an angled parking on the side of the building for an additional 4 or 5 cars. So that makes it very convenient. So should you get it during the day when maybe there might be a lot of workers who work around there, you still can park on her private parking lot, which is attached to the building. So really good. Okay, now what we need to do now is actually go ahead and let the people take a look and hear about some of your food. So now, since you really don't have an appetizer, Star, what we did was decide to go ahead, since you have a breakfast meal, we'll go ahead and show your breakfast items, and then we'll go into the lunch and dinner items after. So let's take a look at that. I know you have 2 kinds of breakfasts. The first one is really the all-encompassing, I think you call it the big or the grand breakfast. And let's take a look at that. Tell us what you provide, first of all, what we see on the plate, and then we'll talk about the different options that you can have.
Okay, the plate comes with the grand breakfast is grits, eggs, bacon. Basically, you have a choice of meat with that, which is... Okay, well, the option is meat. You also get some toast. In fact, I think we have another picture. My first picture really didn't include toast. The thing here I wanted to ask, and I didn't ask, there you go. So there's your grand breakfast. Wonderful grits with a bacon, which is, of course, the most common meat, your eggs, and your toast. But can you get different types of eggs, or is it strictly only scrambled eggs? Well, yes, I do some sunny side up over easy over there at the restaurant.
And you might have noticed I really didn't do much, because I'm really not an egg omelet or scrambled egg fan. I always eat mine either sunny side up or over easy, and I didn't even ask you, whether you did it. So I'm glad to hear that, because there's some of us who just don't like a scrambled egg. You and I know the majority of people like omelets and do like scrambled eggs. Okay, now let's show. So that's a great meal right there in itself. But let's show some of the options. So for the meat, you can substitute if you don't want the traditional bacon. Let's take a look at the other sides. I think the very first one is a smoked sausage. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then you get a couple of slices there. And in addition to that, if you don't like that, now this is something really good, because I don't think you see much of this at any of the restaurants, and that is your hot sausage. Tell us about your hot sausage, please.
It's a hot sausage patty. We fry it on the grill, and there's an option from the bacon, one of the meats that we offer to you all.
Okay, so there we're putting a little spice. New Orleans loves its spice, and there's hot sausage. You can't beat that. Now another item I believe is the ham. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now it's not. And I apologize for the picture. This one came out a little lighter. I was too close to it. But 2 good slices of ham. The only thing I would suggest is, which was delicious, is that if the customer likes, I love grilled or fried ham. I should have asked you if you would do that as a courtesy or a little extra charge, because that really adds another flavor to it. But there were 2 great pieces of ham. And I think, is there one more item, meat that we have?
Yes, it is. It's a breakfast chop.
Okay. Let's see. Did we have that picture too? I'm not sure if we did or not. Some of our pictures did. No. Okay. I apologize. Some of our pictures, I'm not the best photographer. I usually bring someone with me, and if I get too close to the plate, unfortunately, it rebounds, and I do apologize, because I know we didn't do justice. But let's go over those items again. So besides your eggs and your grits and your toast, you can have bacon, you can have smoked sausage, you can have hot sausage, you can have ham, or you can have a breakfast pork chop. Is that right? Yes,
breakfast chop.
Breakfast chop, which is a pork chop.
Yes, right? A
smaller piece, exactly. But without the bone, I remember it was really nice. So, all right. Now she has other smaller breakfasts, and you can also do any combinations you want. If you don't want that whole thing, if you just want an egg and breakfast and bacon or something like that,
yes,
there's also. But we wanted to show you what the really deluxe breakfast is, so that way you can So if you got a hunger, and now breakfast is served obviously from the time you open. What was that again? 7 in the morning.
7 a.m.
7 to what time?
Usually 7 to 10:30. But some people come in for breakfast in the evening, and if we have some grits and stuff, we do serve them also.
Because I've learned that other people are like me in that I like to eat occasionally. I like to eat breakfast for dinner.
Yes.
And so I always ask any breakfast place whether they'll serve breakfast at any time or is it exclusive to just a particular period. So again, folks, if you're like me and you want one night or if there's nothing better than breakfast if you're going out, if you've had some drinks or something, to go ahead and have breakfast rather than try and choose a dinner menu. So this is a great option. So make sure you check whether if she has the items still available for the day. She'll certainly will provide them to you. Okay, now let's go ahead. So that's breakfast. We've covered it pretty well. Let's go ahead now and start looking at lunch and dinner. Now, lunch and dinner basically is the same menu. We don't have different items at nighttime that we have in the daytime. The only really difference are her plat du jours. And every day she has a different plate Monday through Friday. So that will show some of those differences. But let's go ahead. She does have a soup. And what better soup than a Creole gumbo? Let's take a look at her gumbo, please. All right. And notice that the big old crabs in there, some sausage. Tell us, and I was very surprised on some of this stuff. What else you put in your gumbo?
My gumbo consists of shrimp, crabs, seasoned ham, smoked sausage, hot sausage, chicken gizzards, chicken necks, basic Creole gumbo with roux to do the gumbo.
And served with rice, right? Right.
Yes, it's served with rice.
Right. So you see, folks, a lot of us know, some of us aren't familiar with Creole gumbo, and they know separate gumbos, meaning the meat like turkey or chicken and sausage, and then they know the seafood, and they may or may not know a Creole, which is really the combination of the two. But in addition to those basic ones, she's added not only sausage, she's added hot sausage, the chicken necks. So we really put a lot of meat in there. So our gumbo has really got a lot of stuff in it. And of course, it's served over rice. I eat gumbo without rice because of some dietary restrictions. But at the same time, it's great as a soup or whether you eat it traditionally with rice. So that's her only soup. But the important thing is she's putting so much in it that explains the wherewithal. So definitely try it. In fact, I don't think the gumbo was actually mentioned on the menu, was it?
No, I didn't mention it on the menu.
So I had to write it in. So there you go, folks. You're getting an exclusive sneak preview. If you don't see it on the menu, don't think they discontinued. Just don't hesitate to ask about her gumbo, okay? Because until she gets them reprinted, it's not going to be on there. Okay, now salad. She had several salads. What we decided to choose was her grilled chicken Caesar salad, which really is an entree salad many times because you can get it with or without meat. But let's take a look at that, and then we'll talk about there you go. Now you can either get grilled or you can get your option of fried chicken. Is that right?
Yes.
And she dices up the thing so it's not bones. It's strictly, I guess, chicken breast mainly?
Yes, sir.
Chicken breast over greens. And then she has a varied, what type of dressings do you have?
I have ranch, honey mustard, Italian, and creamy Caesar salad. Creamy
Caesar. So there you go. So again, especially with this hot summer weather right now, this is a great lunch or dinner item. Again, it's a whole entree salad because you're getting this stuff. Now, what about before we go on, what about some of your other salads that you have? Let's talk about those.
We have a tuna salad that we also fix and a shrimp salad.
Okay. Now, you have a house salad too, though.
Yes, a regular house salad with lettuce,
which is basically mixed greens and lettuce and tomato, right?
Yes.
Okay. Let's talk about your tuna salad first. Now, tuna salad is a mayo product. You have mayonnaise in it?
Yes, I do.
Okay, great. And how about the shrimp?
The shrimp is fried shrimp.
Fried shrimp?
From shrimp salad.
So it's not shrimp and mayonnaise. It's like what we saw.
It's over, just like the Caesar salad.
Just like
green
okay.
With shrimps on
okay.
it.
Would you consider, because I didn't see where it's, would you consider grilling the shrimp or is it only fried shrimp?
We'll consider grilling the shrimps.
Because that's my favorite is grilled shrimp. If I'd have known that, I would have certainly pictured it.
We'll consider grilling the shrimps. There's no option to if that's what a client come in for.
Sure.
We try to please our clients.
So there you go. Now, is your shrimp salad over the Caesar salad, or I know you can do that, but I mean, or is it when you serve the shrimp? What is it over? What kind of
it's
greens?
Over regular lettuce salad.
Your regular house salad kind of context.
Right.
Okay.
Sometimes it goes over the Caesar salad.
Okay.
Some people may ask for it to come over the Caesar salad.
Excellent. So the only one I can't find anymore, which used to be a staple, maybe one day you'll think about doing, is egg salad. I know it's not a big fan.
Oh yeah, I did do an egg salad.
I don't know why people have given up on egg salad. A little break.
It spirals so fast.
Is that what it is? Okay. I know it's not. Doesn't sound like it's a very wonderful dish anymore. But I know I'll always ask anybody who has the tuna mayonnaise salad, whether they'll do egg salad, because it is my real favorite. So okay, we'll have to take you up on that. All right, now let's take a look. Now, as I mentioned, one thing we didn't mention, and we'll go over details about, is that she has a full line of po' boy sandwiches on bun or in French, and we'll go over a few of those, even though we didn't get any pictures. What we love to do is always show you some of the plate dishes. She standardly has on her menu a red beans and rice dinner meal and one other, but we will go ahead and show the red beans. So red beans and rice is available any day. Is that correct?
Yes.
Let's take a look at this. And as you notice, if you can see from that, you have a huge piece of that smoked sausage in there, right?
Yes, sir.
And then also tells you, I know you use some seasonings in there, some meat seasonings. Tell us about your red beans, please.
That is red beans with regular seasoned onions and seasoned in there. I have pickled meat cooked into it. Also, smoked sausage. You have an option with the smoked sausage, chop or fried chicken on the
okay. I must have missed. So your standard is like this with sausage, smoked sausage.
Right.
But if you rather have fried chicken, which is New Orleans known for, fried chicken and red beans you'll do, and you'll also do a pork chop with it?
Yes.
So there you go, folks. And that's available every day?
Yes, it is.
Any day.
The choice of meats.
There you go, folks. There you go. You can't beat that, whether it's Monday or whatever. What's good about this, she recognized that red beans are not only for just Mondays. We're so used to eating it on Mondays as being the wash day, but at the same time, when you got a craving for red beans, sometimes it's not always just on a Monday.
That's right.
So there you go. And what's good about it, having the options of the different meats will make it different every time. All right, now, she also does a different, let's say, plat du jour every day, and I think we have another one. Let's see which one it is. I've forgotten offhand. My favorite, greens. Now, and she's serving this with fried chicken and rice. Now, what I loved about the greens is, well, I'm going to let her tell you. What type of greens are these, Miss Zondra?
Well, this is a mixture of greens. We have collard, mustard, spinach, and turnips green mixed together.
All full.
Yes.
You covered the gamuts, and everybody's got some part. If they have a favorite, it's in those greens.
That's right.
So you don't have to say, well, come back on another day, we'll do the other mustard greens.
That's right.
You got them all together.
All cooked in one pot.
Excellent. And great flavor. And then, of course, once again, you got a lot of that ham. What kind of seasoning you using?
That's
the meat
pickled meat and seasoned ham I put in me.
Again, served over white rice and with fried chicken. Now, do you serve with any other meats, or is it standardly with fried chicken?
It's just choices of meat, pork chop and chicken.
Again, you pork chop with chicken. Great.
Right.
Okay. Now, we also, and unfortunately, my picture didn't come out, folks. We had another really tasty item, and it was called and I really feel bad because it's one of her signature dishes, and it's her lemon pork chops. And why don't you tell us how you do those lemon pork chops, please?
Well, I basically do it like I season my chops, lemon marinade in some lemon juice with water and margarine and olive oil, and I bake them in the oven. Along with some maybe cream potatoes.
Yeah, there you go. And I was going to jump in. What she served them that day, I don't know if it's standing, was wonderful mashed potatoes and green beans, wasn't it?
Yes.
Excellent. So real basic food, and I do apologize for not having that picture. Any of the other items you want to talk about that you serve on a plate during the day?
We also serve smothered pork chops, turkey necks, neck bones, barbecue chicken. I have a shrimp pasta that the people in the neighborhood just love to come and get.
Good. That shrimp pasta, is that what type of sauce is on that?
That's a mushroom sauce.
Cream mushroom sauce, huh? Any other ones that and again, these are by day, you would do a particular one, is that right?
Meatballs and spaghettis, yes. It's a daily special changes daily, so that's why I ask people to either come in, look at the board, or call us and we will give you the issue.
Right. So, folks, if you want to know, again, the red beans, any day. And I know there's another item that's on the menu. It's every day a plate. What's that other one? Do you know? Was that the... I know it's down here. Let me see if I can remember.
Smothered pork chop?
Yeah, that's just smothered. So those are available anytime.
Mm-hmm.
So, folks, if as long as you know you're in a fallback position, you can always defer to the red beans or the smothered pork chop. But if you want to find out what's creative that day, the best thing to do if you're in the neighborhood, of course, as you said, just come in and take a look, or give her a call, and she'll be glad to tell you what she's doing that day. All right, now let's talk a little bit about show. I think we have some of the different sides. Like one of the things I forgot, I put it in again. When I went to arrange the photographs, we didn't do a good job. Is we had a side of potato salad, and of course, I always plop my potato salad in the gumbo, the real Cajun kind of style. But let's see what's our next picture. I think that's what it is. Is the potato salad?
Thank you, lemon chops.
Oh, lo and behold. We were missing this for some reason. This is, let me backtrack. This deserves credits. This is the actual lemon pork chop we just talked about. Again, with the green beans and the mashed potatoes, cream potatoes, as you can see. Now, this was, again, the lemon pork chop is extremely moist. So it melts in your mouth. You really don't even need a fork. I mean, of course, you got to be polite, but at the same time, the pieces are just falling right off the bone. It's been cooked so well. So I'm glad we came up with that. I apologize. I thought in the preview to show that we missed that. But let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other items, because I think we have another side. And before we go on to the desserts, let's see, do we have the potato salad? Because this was really a nice and cold and crisp. If not, okay, sorry about that. All right, maybe we'll come to it later. Well, let's talk about now. Those are your plate items. As we said, we have some standard ones, the red beans, some other pork chops. We have the specialty ones that she's just enumerated, like the lemon pork chops and those others. But she also has sandwich. A lot of people at lunchtime or dinner wants a po' boy or wants a small of your dieting a little bit, want it on a bun. So let's talk about some of the standard po' boy sandwiches that you serve.
Oh, our standard po' boy, most people come in for a cheeseburger, hot sauces with cheese, shrimp sandwich. We have ham and cheese. We have roast beef, turkey sandwiches. Basic sandwiches that people will come in for on a daily basis. They run from for buns from $2.75 on.
Okay, but let me ask about the turkey. What type of is it turkey breast? Are you looking deli turkey meat, or what are you using now?
It's turkey breast.
Turkey breast, okay. And let's see if we can talk about a couple of the others. You ran through them real quick. You got to remember, we don't always pick up everything. Let's slow it down a little bit. Let's start. First of all, do you do New Orleans has to have a roast beef and gravy. Do you do anything like that?
Yes, we do. We have roast beef with a homemade gravy.
Okay. And can you serve that with cheese, like Swiss cheese? You have
that? We have American cheese, and cheese.
Okay. Well, that's a real basic among po' boy shops. So we got that. Now, I know you said the hamburger or the cheeseburger, right?
Yes.
And again, we can do these on bun, or we can do them on French bread. Is that right?
Correct.
All right. And let's go on now. Besides the hamburger or cheeseburger, what would be the next popular one?
Hot sausage. Hot sausage,
right. And a lot of people don't know about hot sausage po' boys. A friend of mine, that's his absolute favorite. If they got it in the restaurant, that's his first one he's going to look for every po' boy shop. And years ago, I never even knew people had hot sausage po' boys. So there's a popular one. What else? What other ones we might have?
Shrimp sandwich.
Now, shrimp, we talking about fried shrimp?
Yes, sir.
Or maybe even grilled shrimp if they ask?
If they ask, we'll try to fit.
There you go. That's what we like. Combination. Okay, what else? We do the same thing, fish? I know.
Well, we have catfish and trout sandwiches.
Okay. Yeah, in fact, that's one of our different plates that we didn't see. Hopefully, we'll pick that up in a minute. So you fry your choice of trout or catfish. It's very unusual. Most people just use catfish here, but you also have fried trout, which is, to me, I think I like trout a lot better than the catfish, even though most people prefer catfish. Okay, can you think of any others that you have?
Besides the shrimp,
how about tuna? What do you do for tuna? Is that tuna salad?
It's a tuna sandwich. You can do it on French or a bun.
But is it tuna salad?
Yes.
The same tuna salad used for your salad?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Same thing we use for the salad.
All right, let's see if our director can put up a couple more of those pictures. I know we had at least, again, now this is not a special, but she has fried, for the most part, fried seafood platters or plates. And this is the deluxe one. This is called half and half. And as you can see on here, you got a large piece of trout in the background. You're loaded with fried shrimp. And I think buried underneath all that, your French fries, and a little house salad already on the plate. So it's a complete platter or plate. Now, as she mentioned, if you don't like, because my best friend loves fried catfish, so if you'd rather have the catfish instead of the trout, you can do that. Plus, you can do individual items. You don't have to have the combo. We just wanted to show you how to. So you could do a fried shrimp platter.
Yes.
Which would come with the fries and salad. You could do a fried trout or fried catfish platter.
Yes.
And any other ones that you have.
Yes, sir.
Which one?
This fish, catfish, trout, and
yes,
shrimp.
I asked if you had any other. That's all you had,
That's
right?
all we have right now.
Okay, great. So, and again, those are available all the time. So, whether if you didn't want it on a po' boy sandwich, any of those fried ones, you can get them. There's certainly a couple of those variations as an entree dinner. All right, now let's see if we have anything else that we need to talk about. All right. Again, we're talking with Ms. Z's Cafe owner and chef, Ms. ZONDRA Batiste. She's opened Ms. MS, not Mrs. Ms. Z's Cafe at 17 or 27?
1027.
1027 TOURO, but it's much easier to find and to look for the address. As I mentioned, if you're going down St. Claude from New Orleans, 2 blocks before you get to Elysian Fields will be TOURO, and you've got to turn right. As you know, all the streets there are all one ways. So this is heading away from St. Claude toward the river, so it's perfect the direction. And it's in your first block on your left, almost the very next building after the building that faces on St. Claude. It's is it a 2-story building? It looks like
yes, it is.
2-story kind of yellow brick building with a sign out front, and as we said, there's on-street parking in front with I don't believe it was any meters. I don't think I saw it.
No
So
meters.
that's important, folks, because I know a lot of people say, well, I'm not going there because I got to pay for parking at the meter. There's no parking. If the places are available, there's on-street parking, but she also has accommodations for 4 or 5 cars in the private lot that's attached. You just pull up to the left and park yourself on an angle. As we said, she's open 7 days a week. Unbelievable. Hopefully she can continue. As we know, this pace is difficult for anyone, but she's got a good family that helps support her. So she's doing to help pick up all that time. She's open 7 days a week, opening at 7 in the morning. She serves breakfast standardly from 7 to 10:30 or 10. What was it?
10:30.
10:30. But don't be afraid to give her a call. All right, when you're into to ask, and if you got a hankering for breakfast later on in the day or that evening, as she said, as long as she's got the materials, she'll certainly cater to your wishes and serve you breakfast at any time of the day. She seats up to about 50 people. During the week, she's open until 10 p.m., and on the weekend nights, she's open to midnight. So there's no excuse that, I can't go because she's got limited time. And the good thing about it is she's open all the way through. So if you're a late lunch person like I normally am, want to go 2 or 3 o'clock for lunch, you don't have to worry, I missed them because all the restaurants for lunch close at 2:30 or 2 o'clock. So you're straight on through. You don't have to worry about rushing. They're not going to be closing. They're staying open, so they're not going to rush you to leave. And you can have breakfast if it's available, as opposed or any of your lunch items that we want. What else can you tell us about your restaurant? I know you've been open 4 months. Anything else you can tell us before we move on?
We also do catering.
I know we'll talk about catering in a little bit. I wanted to talk about the restaurant itself. Let's see. You've been open 4 months. Your son's involved with you. What does your son do in the capacity? Is he cooking as well?
He does some cooking, but majority of the cooking is left up to me. He helps out in the restaurant with the back porter.
I'm sorry, he helps. He does do some of the cooking?
Yes, he does. He comes in, he helps out. He does some of the fry cooking. and
Okay,
stuff.
right. Well, great. That's
I do the
great.
home cooking.
Yeah, I think you're certainly the spirit of the design chef, and I think you do most of the legwork there. Huh?
Yes.
Okay. Now, let me see what else we can talk about. For those who are not familiar with the area, again, I know a lot of neighbors and stuff are going to be coming there because it's going to be so convenient for them. But for people like myself who live uptown and not familiar, I'm used to going down to the Marigny, down on Frenchman Street, which is the next block over. And for those who know, Frenchman has come back down from the quarter moving forward, and we have several restaurants closer and closer to St. Claude. So that's what's good about here. There's as you go further down, for years there haven't been any restaurants. So this is really filling a great need, because other than having to go down into the quarter or the Marigny section by the end of the quarter, you can now come to this place, and especially with the parking. I think the one thing I want to say about this restaurant, this is what you're may find unusual, but Miss Zondra tells me that this is what her customers demand, is that, for the most part, I believe a lot of New Orleanians like their food over season, very hot. I know we bring some of our friends, our tourist people from out, they come in, they can't even eat some of the dishes. Well, Ms. Zondra feels just the opposite. She doesn't want to over-season the food, which, of course, is better for many people from a health standpoint. But at the same time, so don't expect to be going and burning your tongue on any of these items, other than the hot sausage, which, of course, is hot by itself. You may find yourself having to add either salt or pepper, because she just doesn't believe in overdoing it. So it's an unusual philosophy for New Orleans, but as she mentioned, she is going to meet what our customer demands. So the important thing is that you do have salt and pepper on the table. I'm sure if you need a hot sauce, she'll accommodate you, find some of that as well. So if you find it a little milder than some of the other restaurants you've eaten at, don't hesitate to ask for those seasonings, and you can certainly add them to your own taste. Okay, I think we've said enough. Before we're going to go ahead. We have our musician again, as we mentioned. We have Miss Nattie, who's been a photographer as well as a musician. One day she was nice enough to come in the studio and cut 12 tracks for us. So as you know, we've had some problems getting musicians post-Katrina. So she was very, very courteous in cutting these 12 tracks. And we did one interview with her, which we hope to do at the beginning of each session. So if you see it again in the next few weeks, if you see that same interview, don't feel like, this is going to be a rerun show again. It's not the new show. Again, the songs hopefully will be different, because we do have 12 tracks. So we're trying to give you 3 new songs, but the same interview will go on at the beginning of each show till we go ahead and exhaust her sets of 12 songs. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and hopefully hear a new song from a talented photographer and singer, and her name is Miss Nattie.
Hello, my name is Nattie. I have a couple of songs for you that I'm going to sing along with my guitar here, Miss Delta Blue. The first song I'm going to sing tells you a little bit about who I am and why I sing what I do. I'm just a simple cowgirl who's living in the city. I'm drinking lots of ponies on a bar stool and writing ditties. The tunes might be simple and the subjects might seem bare. It's the little things that matter to me, and the rest, well, I just don't care. I don't care about gossiping like who slept with who. I don't care about money, I just want to buy some food. All I really care about is living a life that's true. Help make the world a better place, it's the best we all can do. Watch the state of our world on the evening news. Shake my head and I wonder, where's the other views? It's the power of half hour to spread hatred and fear. Tell me a story about a little kind boy, and that's what I'd rather hear. I could write about philosophy or love my life. Write about indigent workers and their plight. The other day a stranger said hey, and he gave me a little smile. It's a little known fact that one kind act could last for 1,000 miles. See, I'm just a simple cowgirl who's living in the city. I'm drinking lots of ponies on a bar stool. I'm writing ditties. The tunes might be simple and the subjects might seem bare. It's the little things that matter to me, and the rest, well, I just don't care. So I'll write about nothing when it means something to me. I even found happiness down at the DMV. All I really care about is living a life that's true. I'll tell you a story that brought me joy. It's the best that I can do. 'Cause I'm just a simple cowgirl who's living in the city. I'm drinking lots of ponies on a bar stool. I'm writing ditties. The tunes might be simple and the subjects might seem bare. It's the little things that matter to me, and the rest, well, I just don't care. Not one bit. I just don't care.
That was Miss Nattie doing another little ditty. She's got some great songs, don't you think? They're all toe tappers, and they're all based on human experience and her particular personal experience, being someone not necessarily from, even though she's from the North Shore, coming over to the city and different things that have happened to her, whether she's come to a festival, jazz fest, whether she's gotten a ticket, a flat tire. So all of the things are based on true experience, but with a pretty much of a comedic flair. So really kind of cute. And of course, the outstanding part is that fabulous blue guitar with Miss Blue or whatever she, Delta Blue, whatever she calls it. It is certainly something that you remember Daddy by, in addition to her great songs. Okay, we're coming back now. Again, we're talking to Miss ZONDRA Batiste of Miss Z's Cafe on 1027 French TOURO, right off of St. Claude. We do have another picture we did find, thank goodness, my mistake. We found that side of potato salad. As I said, I ordered it I could put it in my gumbo, but you can order potato salad for any side, any dish you want. It would be great with for those, if it's not too many potatoes, if you get that great fried seafood combo. There's nothing better than putting some potato salad. So let's see, take a look. It was great, nice and chilled, really, really fresh, and that's the important thing for you. Again, it's not going to be heavily seasoned, so if you want some pepper in it, you're going to have to do it yourself. But the important thing, it was nice and cold and chilled, and just the way potato salad should be. So whether you plop it in your gumbo like I do, or put it on the side of one of your entrees, it's on your menu. Don't forget to do it. All right. Now we want to talk about a little bit about beverages. For the most part, this is a non-alcoholic establishment. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, good. But let's talk about some of the different beverages you do offer. Obviously, because you offer breakfast, you're going to have some coffee or some juices. What do you have there?
I have coffee, orange juice, and tea over in the morning for breakfast.
But that's iced tea or hot tea?
Sweet tea, the iced tea.
Iced tea, okay. And the rest of the day you have, you have it in the morning, but you continue to have the sweetened tea. Do you have any sodas or anything like that?
Yes, I do. I have cream soda, red cream soda, box root beer.
Okay, that's good. We got a lot of sodas. That's right. I mean, all of them. We do offer soft drinks.
Yes, we do.
Okay, but unfortunately, folks, it's not an alcoholic establishment, so you got to learn to enjoy your food without alcohol, and there's nothing wrong with that. All right, now let's talk about desserts. She really has two on the menu. I'm sure she does some separate ones occasionally, but we want to go ahead and take a look at these two. The first one is, what would it be like? I can't have a dessert if it's not a brownie, huh? Let's talk about these brownies. Let's take a look. It's a huge serving, big old square brownie. Do you make these yourself, man?
Yes, I do. I do bake them.
So tell us a little bit about your brownie.
They're baked chocolate with chocolate chips in the inside of it. Sometimes I have them with pecans also. Okay,
so they always have chocolate chips, so that's
they have the chocolate.
So they always get chocolate chips, but sometimes you put a surprise and put some nuts in them.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay. All right. So you see, it's an ample size portion to get your chocoholics, to get your flavor. Now the other one is good old pound cake, and you can't beat pound cake. Let's had a great slice of that. Now do you ever do flavors in your pound cake, or is it always?
Yes. Sometimes I have strawberry pound cake or chocolate pound cake or with icing.
Wow,
it varies on that
all right.
chocolate and strawberry.
So is there any other desserts you do besides that?
Every now and then I'll do a bread pudding.
Traditional bread pudding. You can't beat that.
Yes.
Okay, now we have one more picture, and this, unfortunately, my photographer thought this was a dessert, but I tell you, it's sweet enough that it can be a dessert, and that's, again, a side item of cornbread. Take a look, and I had a taste, and I'm serious. I never used to be able to eat cornbread because most cornbreads were very dry and non-flavorful, but almost like stale bread. But all of a sudden, somebody got the idea, well, we put something to sweeten these things out, it really becomes much more flavorful. So this is definitely, I'm telling you, just like the pound cake, this is just another one, a little bit more corn flavor, but very, very sweet. So it certainly can be offered as an alternative to dessert or as a side with any of those great items. Anything else you want to tell? Oh, you wanted to tell us about your catering. Tell us what kind of stuff do you cater?
I cater parties. I also cater repasts. I cater just about anything someone asks me for. If I can be of service and accommodate them, we also do catering.
Okay.
Sandwiches.
But now you're catering, you do prepare everything at your restaurant, and do you deliver it to the place, or they have to pick it up?
We deliver it.
Okay.
And they can pick up if they choose to.
Okay. But you don't do anything actually cooking or something at a house during a party, anything like that?
No.
Okay.
We do everything at the restaurant.
Okay. Now, is every items that we've seen are available in your catering menu?
Yes, they are available also.
Okay. Is there anything that on the catering, do you have a separate catering menu that would feature other items that people might want to select from?
Yes, we do. We will have one of them, but I haven't officially put everything on there.
Well, can you tell us some of the things you're thinking about doing, so people, again, because we're coming up to party season pretty soon. I mean, I know we're still in the throes of August and hurricane season, but right after that starts the Halloween, and then right after that is Thanksgiving, the parties and Christmas parties. So people are looking to plan those kind of events, and also the football games. Football season starting this week, and people love to put together sometimes catering, and rather than cooking all that stuff, if they're having friends over, they can certainly put something together, have it delivered, or pick it up themselves and have it for a party. Any ideas of what some of the things you might be doing for catering other than what's on the menu already?
We will be doing miniature meatballs, stuffed eggs. We have drumettes, baked macaronis, basic catering things that would have maybe some short ribs, baby back ribs that we would be also catering to. We have little ham rolls, little miniature ham rolls wrapped up in, and they call it baby in a blanket.
Yeah.
So we have a variety of things. We have like shrimp stuff, some of those shrimp stuff like that.
What do you stuff? You stuff shrimp? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you can stuff shrimps.
What would you stuff a shrimp with?
With some meat, ground meat, or seasoned very well, fried and stuff, where you stuff it with some lemon and stuff.
And then how do you prepare the shrimp then after you stuff it?
You split the shrimp.
Yeah, but how do you cook it? I'm saying, how do you cook the shrimp?
Well, you bake it in the oven.
So it's baked?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, that's very unusual. I don't think I've ever seen a stuffed shrimp. That is great.
They have them.
Any other really unique ones like that?
Not at this present time.
Not at the present time. Okay. Well, again, for folks who are looking for catering, you have any idea when you'll have your menu available, so that way, talking about a couple of weeks, so in case, like I say, because the season starts pretty soon for people who want parties.
Right. Within a couple of weeks. We should have it by the end of August.
Okay. Well, very good. Well, all right. Before we go, anything else you want to tell us about your restaurant? I'm going to do a quick rehash and talk a little bit about additional programming. Anything else that you want to tell us about your restaurant?
No, thank you. I just appreciate y'all having me on, and just ask you to come by and try it and decide for yourself if it's worth coming back.
That's it. Even though a picture's worth 1,000 or 10,000 words, I think a taste is even worth 20,000 words. So that's the important thing. All right, well, let's go real quickly. I'll rehash over what we've seen today, and then I want to tell you about it because we've got some changes going on in August, personal, that we need to explain so you'll know where we stand. First, we've had the delight to meet the owner and major chef of Ms. Z, the letter Z's Cafe, 1027 or 17, I'll never get it straight, TOURO, which we said is only a half a block off of St. Claude on the riverside of St. Claude. And TOURO does go only one way toward the river, so it's very easy for you to reach. Once you get on TOURO off of St. Claude, you can't go too fast because you'll pass it up, because it's really actually the second building on your left. And as we said, there is parking on the street as well as angled private parking on her lot. She's open unbelievably from breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Her family is great to help her out in this regard, starting at 7 in the morning. Standard breakfast runs to 10:30, but don't hesitate if you feel like breakfast later on during the day or late at night to give her a question to see if she can do it for you. The rest of the day, she's open straight through to 10 o'clock during weekdays and 12 midnight. Can you believe that, on the weekend? So everybody likes to go out and party on date night on Friday and Saturday night. And this is something you don't have to worry about being home or right after the movie. You can go get something real good, fresh food right after the movie and enjoy or whatever you've done. Enjoy the rest of the evening. In addition, at any time during the day or night, you can order any one of her varied sandwiches, whether it's on bun or po' boy. You can order her standard dishes like red beans or pork chops, or the wonderful seafood platters. Those are available any day, every day. Or you can try her special of the day, her plat du jour. And we've heard some of those, and they really seem delightful. Some very different. It's not just the standard thing that you see every place, just the red beans, just the meatballs. She's got these lemon pork chops, a lot of things that normally you wouldn't find in a plat du jour restaurant. Okay, now, again, we thank Ms. ZONDRA for coming in. Let's talk a little bit about future programming. August is kind of a bad month for me. I've got some unfortunate surgery to go through coming up, and I also have a little buying a trip to go out of town at the end of the month. So not sure whether we will be bringing you too many more live shows for the rest of the month. As you know, this show will play show 4 times and may repeat during the month. We do have some great things lined up for you. The fabulous new restaurant called Patois. Patois is on Daniel and Webster, and really it's been open longer than our normal restaurant, but it had a brief interlude with Katrina and stuff like that, and originally it was only open at night. Now it's on lunch on Fridays and brunch on Sundays. And these are 2 descendant brothers, grandsons of the Galatois family. And I can tell you, and what's interesting is their chef is a chef with a restaurant that's still open today, but was only about 2 blocks or maybe 5 blocks away from today's restaurant. It was called The Bank, actually a bank right off of Elysian Fields. And the original owner was from New York and brought a New York chef who left after he sold the restaurant, and now is working with these guys. And his food is absolutely great, doing a lot of New Orleans favorites, standards, but also some very new. So be on the lookout. We haven't finalized what date, but there's a chance working around. I think they will be on in August, certainly in September. Another restaurant I want to tell you about that has opened up just a few weeks ago, who will be coming on in September, and then called the Olive Branch Cafe. Don't get it confused with that chain. This is an individual proprietor who does have 2 other successful restaurants in the city, and he's opened up in the American Can Company. For those who know that beautiful old building that was turned into condominiums before Katrina, where the farmers market is on Thursday night. There's a coffee shop there and 1 restaurant, a wine shop, and his restaurant has just opened, so we're anxious to bring him to you. There's also a new steakhouse on Broad. As you know, for years we had Crescent City, which is our old-time favorite, still there, but we had the magnificent Ruth's, which of course left town when the owner died and with Katrina, and now has come back to relocate in Harris. Well, to fill that need for Broad Street, on the south side of Broad is a new steakhouse called Gilds, Gilds. And one last thing we're going to do for you in August. When I do take my trip, I'm taking, not that you're interested in my personal life, but we're taking the City of New Orleans train up to Chicago at the end of August. And we're working now with the chef. They have a great new New Orleans chef who is running the dining car. So we're hoping to basically do a remote, not live, of course, but actually take the pictures, meet the chef, and on one of his days off on a Wednesday come in after that in September, so we can show you how fine dining is on the wheels, on the rails of our great nation. Okay, well, what we're going to do now is, again, let you see. So keep watching. Don't get too bored with us if we have to run a couple of repeats, but that's just because of the circumstances. So like I say, don't get too upset with us, but it's just because of the medical and the personal trip. But once we get back to September, we'll be back on a full schedule. And again, as you know, the end of August, we try and bring our artist on. We had a July artist, and he unfortunately couldn't make it at the last minute because of illness. So hopefully we will do the last Wednesday, even though that's the day before I'm leaving. If we can do that, then we'll try and do an artist if we're not doing a restaurant. So we're hoping to bring some new restaurants and new artists to you in the remaining month of August. But bear with us because of these circumstances. Certainly after September, we'll be back hitting with you. All right, now we want to go ahead and finish out the show. Again, Miss Nattie, you can hear her on future shows, and let's take a listen and see what she's doing. Until then, we'll see you in the restaurants.
So New Orleans is filled with lots of characters, and this next song is a song I wrote about a friend of mine who's well on her way to becoming one of those classic New Orleans characters. It's called Silver Queen. Watch out for the Silver Queen on her bike, her limousine. She's cruising lanes smooth as ice, focused stare with pale blue eyes. There she goes, that Silver Queen. She won't go less than 118. It's best to stay out of her way when she's making prints and dancing ballet.